What's up guys, welcome back from the Yugioh Pro Duel video. The new Machina support was revealed earlier today. Well, I think like 3 or 4 new cards were revealed from the structure deck. I think we have pretty much the complete spoiler from the structure deck are, I believe, right? But I might be mistaken, maybe 1 or 2 cards, not really sure about that. But with most of the support revealed, let's try it out. The new Machina cards, a lot of new cards revealed, and short set. The deck is focused around Kernel, or however you want to pronounce it, the level 10, which has like that effect that as soon as your Machina monster is destroyed or a machine on your side of the field, you can special summon it from the graveyard. And the deck is like a combination between, well, it's very similar to Scraps in some way. Because, well, you gain advantage out of popping your own stuff. Like, both level 8s are quite of, you know, like key cards. One of them special summons something from the graveyard, while the other one special summons something from the deck. But you need to pop something on your side of the field. And again, that could trigger your level 10, your Kernel. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. One of the new ones being Metal Crunch. I believe that card is not in the structure deck, but I might be mistaken. I believe it's a V-Jump promo, but again, not really sure about that. It's level 9 and it's very similar to Gear Frame, the level 4. But during the opening turn, the level 9 is definitely better. It has like, well, again, upon summon you can reveal like 3 different, just 3 Machina monsters from your deck, and your opponent has to pick one at random, I feel, or I think. And yeah, just the fact that it's a level 9 helps out a lot, because again, 2 big tutor cards from the deck are both level 8 monsters here on the right side of the field. The left one, if that makes sense, the green one, I guess, special summons something from the graveyard if you pop something on your side of the field, while the right one special summons something from the deck. So it's like a Lone Fire Blossom in some way. One of the new ones being the Dark. It's a Debris Dragon, and it's a Dark, as I mentioned before, so that might be a bit inconvenient. But well, it's fine, I guess. Doesn't really matter too much. It also triggers during your opponent's turn, but small downside is the monster that is special summoned off of your level 4 Dark Machine. Its effect is negated, or well, it cannot be activated, and that's again quite important. But again, it triggers during your opponent's turn, so the deck feels like a combination between Scrap's Gimmick Puppet in some way. But there are still, well, the deck suffers from so many weaknesses. You'll see within the next couple of moments. One of the new cards as well is the Continuous Spell. The Continuous Spell is very similar to Supply, what is it called? Supply Squad or Supply Unit? I believe it's Supply Squad, the TCG name. Because it's searchable off of their new one, the new spell, the Search spell, discard something to search 2 cards. But yeah, if you discarded a Machina card or monster, you can search 2 Machina's cards. So it's not restricting itself to only being able to search monsters. So you can search a continuous spell, so I feel just 1 is fine, because I mean, if you're opening multiple, it's terrible. And this is not really the deck that has like a 1 card, 2 card engine in much like highly competitive decks that we see now in today's format. So every card in your hand counts. Same for the Trap card. The Trap feels very similar to the Karakuri Trap. It lets you play during your opponent's turn. Pop something on the side of the field to special summon something from your deck. So, you know, the deck is just focused on getting out Kernel, you know, like popping during your opponent's turn as well. Special summon your Machina level 10. And the Machina level 10 is where, you know, like tribute any of your, or destroy any of your monsters, and then it's basically Raigeki, depending on which monster you destroy. You can tribute itself or destroy itself to destroy all monsters from your opponent equal to the attack of the destroyed monster. So in case of your Kernel, that will be 3k or below. So basically, I believe in most situations it will Raigeki your opponent's board. Again, once per turn, so, you know, you just have to wait patiently, I guess, or just tribute Kernel itself, and then play around with one of the level 8s, which, here, this one. The Air Raider level 8 has the ability to special summon a Machina monster from your deck, and it's also a quick effect, while the other level 8 does not have the ability to special summon or use its effect during your opponent's turn. So that's something to keep in mind. The other level 8 is just cute to get that small loop going, you know, the field that I was aiming for during the first few replays, getting that level 8 out first with the continuous spell, you know, keep recycling stuff and set up your graveyards with multiple levels or different levels of Machina monsters to gain those beneficial effects. Trample, I guess this should be game. Yeah, indeed, Colonel eventually dealing the last damage and eventually attack for the game. So definitely, you can definitely go second. Go first, go second, but as I don't think I've mentioned it, but as you know, like, most cards here were revealed very recently, and this is a super early build. So again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions. There are definitely more options, as you saw in the quote-unquote side deck. It's not really a side deck, but you know what I mean. I mean, there are so many options like shadows and or trains as well. I'm not really sure about urgent schedule without like some small some form of train engine, since I feel that urgent schedule now it's basically like your Machina Fortress searcher, your level 7 searcher, to set it up in your graveyard, right? So you're not gaining too much advantage out of it, since this isn't really the deck that, you know, it's aiming towards link plays or exceed plays. It could be there if you have the option, and that's why, you know, you're running like rank 10 and rank 8 exceeds in your extra deck, but again, this is not really the deck that's aiming towards those extra deck plays. It's just Colonel like Colonel B-Town, I guess. But yeah, in today's standards, the deck, it feels like the deck is missing something. It's cool. The deck is very weak to hand traps. Well, of course, like a lot of decks are weak to hand traps, but like main deck hand traps like DD Crow, like Call by the Grave in some way, if you can call that a hand trap. Impermanence, Failure, you know, if you don't control the face-up continuous spell on Gear Frame or whatever, could stop you in your tracks. Well, Failure not per se, but cards like DD Crow and Call by the Grave are huge against this deck. Get rid of your Colonel is quite big, since that's the you know, like one of your key cards to win if you like you know, in basically any duel. Since, you know, it's just that of an important card. I think I have enough monsters to attack for a game, I guess. So special summon one of the level 8s that has the ability to pop stuff during my own turn. Rank, well, yeah, going for the exceed doesn't matter too much. Colonel was still being able to act, oh yeah, indeed, still had it in the graveyard, right? Last example, going first, this is cool. Getting up Machina Fortress as well, and going for the first level 8. Try to tribute it, again, destroy itself to trigger the continuous field spell to get something back from my graveyard. And special summon one monster from the graveyard, being the card that was banished. But sadly, that's, well yeah, the DD Crow kinda nuked that small strategy. The Cyclone keeps me in the duel, so okay, I'm still very much alive, but Call by the Grave, another card that banishes something from the graveyard, so yeah, kinda losing my Colonel here, and that's quite big, since, well, well, okay, the Extravagance is going to solve some of my problems because of the top deck Gear Frame, so search out another Colonel, but then I can't use Colonel here because, again, Called by the Grave, right? And Unicorn, yeah, that was it. Unicorn was banished. My one copy in the extra deck got banished out of the pot of Extravagance, so I wasn't able to go for it with the, you know, like 3 monsters on board, bounce back Dante, and, you know, just trample my opponent by discarding something, and yeah, indeed, with both Unicorn and Fortress to attack over his Sunlight Wolf. So anyway, going for the rank 3, not really sure if this should be game. Palooza seems like, well, okay, it's going to negate the special summon, I guess, from Colonel indeed, but, you know, Appaloosa will still be destroyed, so that's like a huge investment, I guess. Urgent schedule, as I talked about before, you know, feels like, okay, it's basically like an indirect foolish burial for your fortress, but outside of that, I'm not really sure if I want to keep main decking it, or maybe I should, you know, change like the main deck a little bit, maybe adding in some more trains or a couple of trains to make it more beneficial. But this is game over. The end of Sunlight Wolf. The back row which we now see is, you know, like the Roar. And I'm not really sure, was Sunlight Wolf already used? I think so. Yeah, but anyway, so the spell is a dead draw, so that's what it is. So, yeah, Machinas, it's a cool deck. I know where Konami is going through with the archetype, but the deck is missing a lot of things. It feels quite slow. In 2012, I guess standard, this deck would definitely be very solid, but 2020 standards, the deck is definitely missing something. It's weak to Call by the Grave, DD Crow, a well-timed DD Crow on Colonel could, you know, like seal the deal, I guess, for your opponents. So again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions like Shaddoll Engine, Needlefire, maybe for Bulb, Naturia Beast. A small train package might be good with their level 4s as well. The Debris Dragon, you know, like again, there are so many options. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.